What's the deal, family? Welcome back to another episode of Sips of Success. This is the Sips of Success podcast, and this is Cameron. I am Cameron, and my beautiful wife, Erin.
Hello, we are back.
Yeah, I wasn't
it
even in
feels
groove with the
good.
intro. That seemed so choppy just now.
I know. He was like, "How do I start?" I'm like, "It hasn't been that long."
Hey, it's been long enough.
Okay, how are you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What are we sipping on?
We are sipping on some green juice.
Very green.
You know, a little healthy something just for little baby in there, and also for the wife, so she can stay hydrated,
glowing,
nutrient efficient, and all that. So cheers.
Is the pregnancy glow actually a thing?
I told you I didn't think so, but
oh my God,
that is green.
So green.
So green.
What's in it?
We have spinach, cucumber, ginger, turmeric, celery, and half of a green apple.
Yeah, that tastes healthy.
You know what I forgot to put, babe?
What?
Lemon.
Oh, yeah, it's missing the citrus.
Yeah.
I was looking for the punch.
Me too. I'm like, what am I missing in this?
Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
It's fine.
Okay, this or that. Would you rather find the love of your life super early in life when you're like 13, 14, early teens, and then go through lots of just like ups and downs, growth, all the things with them throughout like your journey? Or would you rather find the love of your life in your late 30s and you're like you're good, like financially stable, you're ready for the next phase in your life, you're spiritually, mentally strong, you're in a great place in life and you're ready to accept love? Which would you rather?
Based on us, I gotta go with I guess younger. It wasn't 13 or 14, but it was definitely
okay, like teenage years, yeah.
So yeah, because we actually did that.
Okay.
Even though we didn't start dating, until later on, but
yeah, we were in our early 20s when we started dating.
Yeah.
Okay, but why? Like, if you excluded us
hold on.
It better be important. It's not.
It was.
I know it's not.
I kept calling.
Okay, so if you exclude us out of the picture, though, would you still go for that option? Like, if that didn't happen to
Probably
you?
not.
Okay, so speak from that vantage point. Because everyone knows our story.
I mean, I can only speak from our vantage point, though. Like, if I gave it if I didn't have our vantage point, I would say the other. Just because, like, the other one sounds sweet. Like, you're already there. Like, you didn't have to see or experience the other, which in a way I guess that can be helpful to know and learn someone. But from our vantage point, which is why I picked us, that we built the foundation not on dating or love. We built it just on simply friendship. Right. So that's why I would pick that, first. Like we always have the ability to go back to that. And I'm not saying that you can't do that with the second scenario that you gave, but it's definitely easier. Like you got a chance to see me grow up. You got a chance to see me even talk to other girls and then see even how I treated them. Right. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't, even though it wasn't how you wanted it to go from the jump, you still was like, he ain't really did nothing wrong to me. And he's clearly not doing anything wrong to them per se. So like you get to see, or you allowed me to not only experience life for my own, but also you accepted that.
Yeah.
Versus like, I don't know, if we met today in our 30s, like,
wow. She ain't gonna keep calling. She not.
I got you getting a call. Yeah, if we met in our 30s today, like, we may share those things, but like, I feel like it's different talking about something versus seeing it and feeling it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to experience the worst time of my life with me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're probably the only person that actually understood what I was going through and stuff like that. So like, if we didn't have those times, we wouldn't be able to have I don't think what we would have now.
Right. I
So that's
agree.
why I picked the vantage point of like earlier on. Yes, is it going to look perfect? No. And does it take some time to get to a point to where you're comfortable with even speaking about those things? Like I could never be like, oh, well, I don't. I wouldn't say I could never, but I don't feel like it was really allowed or accepted in this way where we can talk about past relationships or our past where we weren't aligned at, like all
Right.
those things. But now we have something that we've built on top of, and
Yeah.
we took control of what we wanted out of life for ourselves and made it into one big picture for us together.
Yeah. But why do you think the second option sounds sweet? Like,
I just feel
do you
like
feel like late 30s feels late?
no, I don't,
Okay.
because I didn't think I was gonna get married to my 30s.
Mhm.
So I was like 30 or whatever,
Mhm.
which I only been 30 for a year now. So like that's clearly not the case. I think I I think that's just like the easy answer. Is kind of like you did everything. You messed up already before. Now you're this perfect man. You're this perfect woman. Like that's beautiful. It's like Hallmark.
Yeah.
Like you meet on the street or wherever you meet at a conference, whatever the case may be, and now you have this picture perfect life. Um, and I'm not saying that we don't have the picture perfect life per se, but it's just like I more so enjoyed the fact that we got to see each other grow up from 16 to 17 years old.
I know. Okay. I would pick the first one as well.
But are
I
you picking it because
I don't
of
think
my
no,
explanation?
I'm not picking it because of that. I think the first one does require you to be patient, which is where my apprehension comes in. Because but either way, you do have to be patient. You're either going to be patient going on this ride with the person, or you're going to be patient waiting for your essentially ready-made person to be presented to you in some
Right.
way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like late 30s, like that's not too late, obviously. I know so many people who find who they want to be with in their late 30s, but and it's not too late. However, that takes patience, especially as a woman, to
I
be
was gonna speak to that.
waiting until you're in your late 30s to find love, if
Yeah.
that's what you want,
Yeah.
especially if you want children and all those things. So I would say I would pick the first, but I think that it comes with its fair share of challenges.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like you
and
get to pick which
yeah,
cons
which
you want.
heart do you want?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
like you get to pick which poison you want basically. And I
Yeah.
think too, like in the grand scheme, like you were married before you were 30, like all these things that women say they are afraid to get to 34. I don't think men experience that in the same way.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of women who have like this time clock ticking. It's like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, I can see why a lot of women don't want to wait until they're 30.
But it
But
isn't
also in the same breath, it's like a lot of women who don't want to
deal with the
deal with a guy growing up.
yeah. And it's not the easiest, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not just the guy growing up, it's you growing up as well as a
But I'm
woman.
just saying that's how it's always.
Yeah, but as the woman, you do tend to take on this. I'm the more mature one, and
Yeah.
I da 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 da.
Yeah.
Da.
I'm speaking toward that. I'm not speaking toward like the literal.
Yeah,
It's just like most women have that attitude. And quite frankly, most men think that about women just because that's what's always presented for the most part.
right.
So, and just from a general standpoint, that's what's realistic per se. But I would still take the advantage of teenage,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think is going to be your biggest piece of advice, like once our daughter starts dating?
I don't even
Once
know.
she starts liking boys,
I don't even know.
like what is going to be the first thing you say?
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta see. I gotta see. I feel like I can say something now, but like I don't know what that'll look like in the next 15 or so years. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I have zero idea where what more I've learned about my daughter.
Yeah.
In these next years. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I feel like it'll just be tailored per who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of daughter, let's give a little update because we've been gone for a while, a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm currently 32
Two.
weeks. I'll be 33 weeks once this goes up.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that literally when this goes up,
The baby will be
the
here.
baby
in a
will
month.
be due the next month.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, tomorrow I can say I'm due next month. So far things have been good. We've been, just super busy, which is why we haven't been uploading. We've been getting our basement done, which that project finally came to an end.
Yeah.
That feels like such a huge relief because everything that was in what's the now nursery had to go in the basement, which was holding up like the entire assembly line.
The whole house, really.
Yes, our house has been
In
shambles. So that's been that. And actually, next episode, we're going to shoot it in the basement so you can get a good peek of like, we're going to try to mix up the setup. I wouldn't say we're going to completely leave this.
No. I think up here in my office may be like just me and you. Like when we just, I don't know. Kind of like keeping it like separate from me and you versus the vibe of others. You know what I'm saying? I know we'll shoot in both places, but we'll still be in here.
Yeah. So that's that. And my baby shower is coming up. It's in a week from today. No, it's in less than a week.
Less than a week.
So we have friends coming in from out of town. We're just kind of trying to, make sure things are good before they get here. So that's been a thing. And then also the nursery and buying a car. Our lease was up. So that really threw us off with the podcast and just with everything.
Everything, for real.
Because we kept getting the runaround with our car.
For like a good... I don't even want to get into that for real.
Yeah. No.
It's
over and it's just
we have
like...
a new car.
We got to just move past it.
Yeah.
It was a horrible car buying experience to sum it up. So we were getting the runaround for about a week. And I don't know if you guys heard.
For the car we ended up with.
Yes. But the system ended up down for like a whole bunch of dealerships, like 15,000 dealerships. And of course, the one that we were working with was one of them. So it was just a mess, hot mess express. But we did end up getting a new car. We turned our other truck in and we really like it. We got a Ford Bronco. Cameron is really having his way right now with cars. Like literally. I'm like,
you want to give my rundown of everything I have?
Yeah.
She's been doing me she's been doing me so crazy.
I'm like, you got your little Corvette, you got your little Bronco, you got your little scooter, you got your little basement. What else you got?
You said a whole bunch. I'm not about to remind you.
You got your little new juicer. He got a new juicer, y'all, for Father's Day. What else you got?
I ain't getting nothing. It's ours. But no,
So
she really has let me have my way with the
it's hot up here.
With the cars that I prefer.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they're fun. They're fun cars. And I barely drive. Like, we literally go everywhere together. The only places we really don't go together are when I get my hair done and my nails done. And sometimes we get our nails done at the same time, honestly. So, yeah. So that's like kind of what's been...
It's just been a lot going on. And we're here. We're going to try to get as much out as we can. And before we have to take like a break to spend some time with the baby. So we're going to try to really knock out a whole bunch in this month of July.
Yeah.
Have some things to be ready to go. Ain't that right, babe? Yeah, okay.
Yes. So the nursery.
The nursery is, the painting is done. I think you can save that to show.
Yeah. We did some wallpaper. We have a rug, but the freaking furniture got delayed.
So it's always something.
So it's just like stuff just keeps
happening.
And I'm like, why is this happening?
Yeah. I just have to keep reminding us that, it's all going to be.
It'll be done.
Yeah.
It'll
all be figured out. It's just clearly not going to be on our timing.
Literally, just like the baby wasn't.
Oh, fun fact that we learned, speaking of on-time babies.
Cameron was born on his due date. Like, who does that?
But I didn't even know that. Aaron asked my mom. And,
yeah. It's so on brand for him, though, because if you know Cameron, you know, like, how precise, how just perfect. Like, he just really tries to be on time and just, this is so fitting for him. I'm like, are you kidding? Yeah, she was like, yeah, he's like right on his due date. I'm like, this dude.
Hey, you know.
This dude.
Hey.
Okay, so what's your favorite thing about the basement?
The bathroom and the bar.
Okay.
What's yours?
The bathroom and the bar. I mean, we put the most effort into the
those,
bathroom
yeah.
and the bar.
Yeah.
So, but I really enjoy.
Okay, outside of that, I really enjoyed the fact that I was able to put those speakers in and hook them up to the TV. It's not a theater downstairs, but it kind of gives the theater sound, theatrics to like when you're watching something.
Yeah, we have a really big TV down there, a very comfy couch.
Yeah.
I really love just like the fact that we have a whole nother space to
go out and chill,
be in. So that's been fun. But
yeah, and I got my little putting mat down there, so I can, go down there and
got
putt.
your little golf. So yeah, we really just kind of wanted to catch you guys up on what's been going on.
Yeah, but
do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about you're now 30 years old.
Oh yeah, I forgot my birthday.
Wow, which explains this year's birthday.
Oh yeah, it's been like very much so overshadowed by so many other things. Which it was still a good birthday. Like, first of all, my birthday was on Father's Day, so there was that. And on top of that, I am very much so pregnant, which also doesn't make things much easier.
Better.
And we went to Chicago, which was fun. Cameron planned a trip for us to go to Chicago. We drove the Corvette, so that was our first road trip in the car.
The first and last road trip in the Corvette.
Yeah. Oh my God. We can talk about that later. Well, we could talk about that in this episode, but like,
nah, we're cool.
You don't want to talk about it?
No,
okay.
Not over it yet.
Okay. So it still stings. But Chicago was fun. Here's the thing though. You don't realize how much you can't do until you're in the moment and you just can't do it. Like, I was probably 31 weeks
30.
when
31
we went.
weeks when we went, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll be fine. Like, whatever, it's cool. First of all, we went to this bar that was like so cute and vibey. And I don't even really have the urge to drink. Like, I don't really be pressed about getting a cocktail. Like, if we go out to dinner or whatever, like how I did before I was pregnant. But it's certain moments where I
wouldn't consider you pressed ever. I don't think we're pressed about cocktails. I think it's when, what you're about to explain, when you go to a place like that, a craft cocktail bar. It's
we don't get drinks every time we go out to dinner or anything like that. But like, on the weekends when we go out, like we would get a cocktail or whatever, maybe try a new bar downtown and so like, I don't really miss doing that necessarily, but it's like when we go somewhere and it's like a vibe and it's just like, they have craft cocktails and it's a whole experience. And it's just, they had mocktails, which were really nice and like very much so giving the same theatrics. But it's just like, I'm not about to get 2-3 rounds of mocktails. Like, it's just not I'm not doing that. And so we went to this really nice bar and I was just kind of like, okay, I'm getting sleepy. Like,
it's like I had all these things. It was all
dim in there. I was just like, woo, babe.
I had all these
another
things,
one? You sure?
I had all these little things like planned throughout the little trip. And we were only there for like really a day, one full day.
One full day.
Like half a day and one full day. And the full day is like I had all the normal things we would do. But yeah, that didn't last. Like we got out on the one full day and we barely can get through like the first little task.
Yeah, like we tried to go shopping. It was really hot too. So
it wasn't.
Babe, yes,
no, you're just like 20 degrees hotter than what it is.
Yeah. So like I'm literally sweating right now. I'm hot.
You're always hot now.
Whew. But we were walking around the stores like down Michigan Ave, and I was just like, why are there no chairs? Like, there are literally no chairs in these stores.
So we made it really to
We went to like three
For real,
stores.
And really the last two, really we didn't really get through the first one like how she normally would get through.
Yeah.
Which was the big Nordstrom or whatever. And she did not scour through Nordstrom like she normally does.
And then literally I was like, before we go, can I just sit down? So we sat by the elevators, whatever they are. Escalators. And they had like these two big chairs by the escalators. And this one of the sales reps came up to me. She's like, honey, do you want some water? I was like, oh my gosh, yes, thank you. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I did not realize how tired, like, actually can get so fast. And then it's like, I need to eat every few hours because I'm hungry. I gotta pee. It's just like such a task being like kind of out in the city when you're this pregnant. Yeah. So that was fun in its own way. However, I will much prefer Chicago non-pregnant. Yes.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I'm just feeling really good though. Aside from my birthday particularly, I feel really good about being 30.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like it's worth talking about how you expect something to go your entire life, and it does not go at all like that. Yeah. So neither of our 30th birthdays were
how we
at all saw it.
Yeah. So
which is crazy.
I know. So we were actually gonna start trying for a baby after my 30th birthday.
Yeah. Especially after my 30th birthday fiasco.
Was not expecting to be 30 weeks pregnant on my 30th. So I mean, it's so interesting because you really feel like you have so much control over your life. And to an extent, you do have control. Like, you have control over the things that you can control. Like, you know, your input. But the output is what you can't control. You know what I mean? And, like, you hope and pray that the effort and things you do, like, get the output that you want. But just sometimes it just doesn't happen like that. And when I turned 30, I didn't have like this moment where I was just like, oh my God, I'm 30, you know, like.
Right.
And even though I was like, oh, I wish I was on a beach somewhere, like, and I will look at old pictures of myself and I'm like, oh, look at my body. Like, I just, you know, like sometimes those like body image, it hasn't been hard for me because I've never really struggled with that, but it is kind of like, okay, what am I going to look like after? Or like, you know, certain things like that I just think about that have nothing to do with my age. But it's just like because I'm like 30 and I'm pregnant and like it just, sometimes those thoughts just slip in. But yeah. I feel like for the most part, I'm feeling really motivated. I'm like, this is a new decade. I'm going into like motherhood and I just see so much for our businesses and I just see so much for like us in our marriage. And it just gets me excited. Like I don't have any fears going into like the next era.
This next era.
Yeah.
These 30s.
Yeah, no fears.
Well, we're all 30 and pregnant now, so.
I know. It's
30 pregnant and thriving.
Right. And it's so many people around us who are pregnant right now too, which also makes it like fun. Yeah. You know, more fun because
like 12 other couples.
Yeah, it's a lot of other couples we know. But I mean, I don't know. How do you feel? Like, well, for one, Cameron's birthday didn't go well last year because his hand was jacked up. Yeah. And then he had surgery on my birthday last year.
That's what I'm saying. So I think.
And then this year, oh my God, excuse me. I'm pregnant for both of our birthdays. You know, so it's just kind of like both of our birthdays kind of aren't about to be what we necessarily thought they would be
my
this year.
My next few birthdays are already out the door.
But I mean, we were never really birthday people before we got married. We each make each other's birthday special for the other one. Yeah. So it's more so like, I can't do stuff for him this year. And for you, it's like, I can't really do what I would like to do for her this year. It's not really about either of us being super pressed about the fact that we
It was
can
the
or
actual
can't
30th
do
birthday,
something
yeah.
about our birthdays.
It's not
you know,
the birthday. It's just not be yeah.
So,
but also for me, it was more so like I had surgery literally on your birthday last year. Like
know.
you had to take care of me for 2 months straight after. like I was incapable of so much for for sure a good month.
Now that I would say that was more difficult for me than this birthday.
But I'm just saying, like for me,
Like
it's
that
just like
actually was stressful. Like I was like crying because I was like, oh my God, I hope he's okay. He's in surgery. And then he was just so down and just, and so that was stressful. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't understand really why people just get so
hung up on 30.
Hung up on 30 or just getting older. Like it's just part of life. And it's like, I want to get older.
I think what it is, there's an expectation that you're supposed to be somewhere by the time you're 30. I feel like the rule of thumb is your 20s is all about learning and failing and learning and failing, and then your 30s is when everything comes to fruition. You know what I mean? And I think when you get to 30, you're celebrating before you even experience those things. And I think, to me, at least that's my understanding of what most people are so anxious to get to 30 about, or so anxious not to get to 30.
Get to 30. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So either way, I feel like because of what the 20s are described as, you're like, am I gonna? Or you might be 29. You're like, dang, I don't have 1, 2, 3. So you're like anxious not to get to 30. Or versus like, oh yeah, I killed 20. So now I'm ready to go into my 30s. You know.
Yeah, that's.
But
how
either
I
way,
feel.
it's just like you're anxious in some way, whether in a good or negative way, and that's kind of like how I take it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's how I was taking it. I feel like that was the first birthday I was like looking forward to ever. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna do 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, that came to a halt just like that.
Yeah.
You know, so just also like I feel like I don't feel like I ever had to like have expectations, but that was a reality check to not have expectations for everything. Even though I don't have expectations for people or anything per se. But it's like that let me know, it's like, yeah, you don't have those. Don't have such futuristic expectations that you really don't have control over. It's like what you said, like you only have control over your input, but you don't have control of what's coming after what you input.
Right.
You know? And it doesn't mean that your decisions were bad. It just you don't have control of what's coming.
Control of it. Yeah.
So that was a big thing. And just like we didn't have control of, have control of getting pregnant in a way. But you know what I'm saying? We weren't not trying, and then
you didn't
get
control
into that
the
point.
input. You did not. Now we have an output.
Yeah. So it's not the same thing. It is definitely baby's the reward. But still, it just wasn't again on our timing. So that our expectation was on this time we're going to try, not when we actually got pregnant. So
yeah.
But in all, that's really not a big deal. For me, it just sucked that last year I had surgery on your birthday, and then this year you're pregnant. So and then you also didn't want to really fly. So it's just like I don't really know what to do.
Right.
And then like we go to dinner every weekend, so it's just like, oh, that would have been another
weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Which for me I don't mind, but for myself, but like when it comes to you, sometimes I'm just like, okay, this is a 0 on the back of this number. Right. So like at least let's do something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it was.
Like it was fun.
You know what I mean?
It was fun. It was a good time.
No, yeah, for sure. It just wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't like if we were in Chicago without me being pregnant.
Exactly.
But I agree. I just think time is it's going to always move. And it's just like, and that's what I wrote in one of my newsletters. It's like, you have to make the most out of your time. And if you don't, like, I do think when you look back on, like when I look back on my 20s, I'm very happy and like very proud and very excited for what's to come, because I do feel like I used my 20s
for sure.
how I wanted to. Yeah, and intended to. And, I think a lot of people take advantage of being young, or they take for granted their younger years. Yeah. Instead of taking advantage of them. Yeah. And when you're young and you're energetic and like you have all these creative ideas and like we have so many resources now, so much information now, it's like, why wouldn't you max out? Like, why would you wait to be your dream self when you're 40, when you can be that now. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like when you can prioritize, like, what does that look like? Like, who do I want to be? Like,
exactly.
What do I want to occupy my time with? What do I want my life to look like? You have control over the input of getting those results.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, for the most part, when you put in the effort, you're gonna, like, it's not all in vain. You know what I mean? Like, yes, there is a certain amount of control that we do not have. Like, a lot of control we don't have, but there is still, you still have control.
I think in
you know
mindset,
what I mean?
what you just said too is like waiting to be your dream self.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that you'll be your dream self tomorrow, but I think if we're saying like, I'll wait till I'm 40, you wait to really start hard working
but you can
when you get close to 40 instead of now.
But you can become your dream self a heck of a lot faster.
That's what I'm saying.
Than you think you can.
Yeah.
And it's like, it can take a year. It can take 6 months. It can take 2 years.
5 years.
It could take 5 years. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, so many people think of like where they want to be, and it seems so far off.
But that's what I mean. They don't really start really putting the effort in until they get closer to the like deadline, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't have to be far off. Like, you can wake up one day and be like, dang, I read a journal entry, an old one, and I was like, dang, like, this is really, like, I did this. I have surpassed this. You know what I mean? Like, I am who I want it to be.
Yeah.
And, you know, and now it's like, that's why I need to start back journaling, because it's like, in 5 years and 10 years, like, I want to look back on now and be like, oh, girl, them dreams, like, we way past that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I just think time it's our friend if we make it. Yeah. And honestly, like, I think most people end up kind of just taking advantage of time. And you just, now I will say I'm not the most on time person. But when it comes to prioritizing my time and like deciding what matters, like, I think I've done a good job of practicing how to make sure I'm getting things done that are going to move our lives forward.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm excited for 30 and,
well, happy birthday
the 30s. And having like a family, a new car. It's so funny. I'm like, wow, like this car is like the car that we're going to have a family in. And like, we didn't expect to be in this house when we had a baby though. Like,
we sure did.
So now, you know, it's just like all these different things. Like, it's kind of like you have some, and, you know, some things work how you think they will and some things just don't. But it's not the end of the world.
Nope, it's not.
So, here we are.
All right, well, that's it, you know.
I am literally melting.
We got to go to a barbecue. So if you rock with me, then you rock with us. We hope you enjoyed this one. We'll see you next Monday. Y'all be easy.
And we finally have to do a Q&A. Like, we've been saying that for like weeks now.
All right, y'all. Leave some questions that we can answer that you would like to know. Please leave us questions. It doesn't have to be all about us. It could just be, you know, anything that you would like to learn about, know about, or I don't know, hear our opinion on.
And if we get a lot, we can like do a few episodes.
So yeah, anyway. Let us know if you have any questions. We'll see you next time.
Bye.